first time I'm wearing glasses at a press conference because I'm blind all of a sudden. But, Sergio Martinez, Fighter of the Year in 2010, really invigorated boxing last year. I mean, it was a shot of adrenaline that the sport badly needed, particularly in the absence of Floyd Mayweather and certain big fights not happening. Sergio created big fights, and I think he established himself not only as one of the best fighters in the world, but the most exciting. And for those boxing fans who do go on the internet and chat rooms, who follow the reaction of fans to fighters, he's become the people's champion to a lot of people. And I think that's a result not only of his high quality as a fighter, his great ability, but also the excitement he brings to every fight. He's a showman. He does things you don't see other fighters do and you haven't seen since Roy Jones. He has tremendous punching power for a great boxer that allows him to do what he did to a great fighter like Paul Williams, which was, a sheer destruction with a punch there was nothing lucky about. And to have him back on HBO on March 12th is a blessing, and it's a blessing for not only DBE and for Team Martinez, but for the fans. So we're going to get the opportunity to see one of the 3 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and I'm not saying number 3, I'm saying one of the 3 best, without having to shell out $50 or $60 for a pay-per-view bout. And frankly, this bout figures to be more competitive than most of the pay-per-view bouts that we're asked to pay $50 or $60 for. So it'll be a great night for boxing fans and a great night for HBO subscribers. Now I need my glasses again because I can't see. The event will be televised, obviously by HBO. HBO has televised Sergio's, really every significant fight in Sergio's career since he made his decision to come over to America. So I want to acknowledge the president of HBO Sports, Ross Greenberg, who I see standing out there. And I want to bring up a man that I've spent a lot of time working with for many, many years. He's the guy that runs boxing under Ross for HBO, Kerry Davis.
Thanks, Luke. We have a special night of programming on March 12th. We will tip the night off with the premiere of our sports documentary, Running Rebels of UNLV, a look back at the program Talk the Shark built under the bright lights of Vegas. Immediately following, we'll have our World Championship Boxing event at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. Sergio Martinez has accomplished more in his last 5 fights on HBO than many fighters accomplished in 15, 20, 25 fights on HBO. In just a short period of time, he's gone from a relative unknown to one of the biggest stars in the sport. Last year's Fighter of the Year, he had a particularly spectacular year, first defeating middleweight champion Kelly Pavlik in a fight where he dominated the championship rounds. And then, of course, he followed that up with the second round knockout, the one-punch knockout of Paul Williams. But more than that, Sergio has all of the qualities that you look for in a star. Women in our office say that he's pretty good looking. He's certainly charming and intelligent, right? And he's absolutely charismatic. In one word, in a phrase, the sky is the limit for Sergio Martinez. And just as importantly, Sergio will not rest on his laurels. Instead of looking for a quote-unquote easy fight after all he accomplished in 2010, he stepped up to what was the biggest challenge on the table. In Sergei Dzinziruk, he's fighting a guy, although not well known to many general sports fans, the boxing fan knows that this is an accomplished, terrific technical boxer, one of the best jabs in the sport, and the guy who's going to give anybody at 154 or 160 pounds a difficult night. So we have a competitive match on March 12th, and certainly the best match that could be made during this time period. The undercard features two middleweights, Andy Lee and Craig McEwan, who will also be looking to establish themselves amongst the premier names at middleweight. Two young fighters. This promises to be an excellent scrap in the ring, as Lou likes to say. And on that night, one of these guys will emerge in the picture amongst the best middleweights. So when you do two great fights like this, you have a lot of people to thank. And at first I have to start with Lou DiBella. From the first day Lou called and talked about Sergio, he has been a passionate advocate for Sergio and an integral part of his success. And everything that we did to promote the Williams-Martinez fight, Lou and his staff was right on board all the way and helped make that a terrific night for HBO. So I want to thank Lou. I want to thank him for also stepping up with his fighter to take this fight. The other person who needs to be thanked is Samson Likowicz. Samson is a terrific boxing mind who has a keen eye for talent. And although we've been doing a lot of fights with Samson lately, he has remained humble, although his jewelry keeps improving. He's remained humble, and he's certainly become someone who we've now characterized as a friend of HBO. So thank you, Samson, also for stepping up and taking a fight like this. Gary Shaw and Artie Palillo have been relentless in terms of calling us and telling us how terrific their fighter Sergei Dzinziruk is. And they certainly have an opportunity, or Sergei has an opportunity to prove them right on March 12th. But certainly Artie and Gary have done their jobs in stepping up and letting the world know that they had a quality fighter in Sergei. And finally, the fighter. Sergio Martinez, you continue to epitomize everything that is truly great about the sport of boxing. A virtual unknown just a short while ago, you now sit atop the boxing world as one of the top 3 fighters in the sport. And you still are willing to take on the toughest challenge and the toughest challenges. So we thank you for that. So again, we start the night with the documentary on the Running Rebels, which will premiere at 9:30 on the East Coast and will be immediately followed by boxing at 10:30. On the West Coast, boxing will start live at 7:30 and will be followed by the documentary. Thank you, and we look forward to a great night of sports programming on HBO.
I've had an opportunity to promote at the MGM Theater at Foxwoods before. Jermaine Taylor fought there in a terrific fight with Carl Froch. It's one of the best buildings designed for boxing. I mean, it is a beautiful building. It's a wonderful place to see a fight. The good news for a promoter like me is that we haven't had a press conference yet, and the room is half sold out already. It seats something in the neighborhood of 4,000 people, maybe a little bit more. But I would urge everybody to get their tickets quickly, because our tickets do begin at $50. They go all the way up to the first row or two at $4.50. And the good seats are moving quickly, as are some of the lower priced ones. So I urge everybody to make that phone call or go on the internet. It's MGM at Foxwoods.com. MGM at Foxwoods.com to purchase tickets and get more ticket information. I want to acknowledge Shannon McHare, who's here from Foxwoods. Thank you for being here, Shannon. And I have a statement because Rob Victoria, the CMO of Foxwoods,